Kia ora and welcome back to the channel. I'm Elvie and today we are looking at a finished sketchbook. Besides my bird paintings, I've still been keeping up my usual watercolours. This is the Rooster brand of watercolour paper. This is 100% cotton, so it is beautiful for watercolours. It absorbs the paint really well, and it is one of my favourites to use beside Etcher and Winsor & Newton. So let's get into it. I started this book on the 8th of June, as you can see up top there. I usually have like a little date on the front, but I just haven't gotten around to getting masking tape to put on the cover. This is actually from a video on the channel about Slovakian watercolours. I picked up 3 different colours and I painted this false black widow spider. I actually really like the painting of the spider. These are just some colour mixes I got with the paints. As you might be able to tell, I couldn't get a very dark colour. This was the darkest I could get with the paint, so that was the biggest drawback. The magenta was really weak, so my guess is it didn't have a bit large pigment load compared to the binder. Therefore, it made it very hard to re-wet and very weak pigment payoff, which means it's not very bright. The cerulean blue I do really enjoy because of that granulation and texture. And then the yellow, it's got a bit of opacity, so that, but besides that, it's still a nice yellow. So yeah, that's a very long-winded explanation of this first spread. Here we've got a painting of me and my friend. It was just a cute photo of the 2 of us from last year, and so I swatched out all of the core watercolours in the 12 half-pan set that I bought at the start of the year. I really love this set. It's one of my go-tos at the minute when I'm not trying out other watercolours, but it is one that I do just go back to and continuously enjoy using. And then we've got this set here. This is a mini watercolour set, so this one on my desk. I've since swapped the paints over, but I decided to do a painting with the original kids watercolours that were inside, which is always a bit hectic, but it was quite fun, and the sketch of the actual palette itself is really sweet. We've got a painting from just a cafe. That's the same place as the teapot here. It's just I was just catching up with some mates, and I really enjoy painting when I go out and about, so hence why I did a couple paintings. I think they're quite nice, especially when it's comes to painting transparent objects. I think I did a pretty good job of these 2. We've got a wine bottle on the table with some other random like cups and chocolate and stuff on the table. I don't quite like it, but I also didn't spend a lot of time on it. It turned out okay. It was more of like a social event, this, just catching up with some friends again. So I'm not too fussed that it didn't turn out that great. This is just going out for coffee in the morning before work. We both got an iced drink. It was so disgusting. I do not recommend the iced mochas from Costa. It was it was a lot. But I did paint them, and the painting is a bit sweet. It's very feels very empty, but I do still enjoy the painting. This is a painting my friend did. She actually does a few more later on in the book as well, and she improves so much, which I'm so proud of her. These ones are just random. This was an apple, and that's just a random painting from a cafe. I think we played some cards as well as me doing a painting, so just, yeah, random adventure. This is one of my hiking friends. This was her first painting, and I'm honestly so proud. I hopefully will be able to get to do more paintings with her. She seemed to enjoy it, so that was good, and I think she did a fabulous job. This was at a cafe. It was I think one of the days school was called off because it was too hot, So I went for a wander and found this really cool cafe. It was very bright and colourful, though the colours it feels very clashy, and I'm not very happy with the area that I did capture. It was still a lovely atmosphere. This painting might also look familiar. This is a painting of I think the palace in Krakow, Poland. And this is with my Polish paints from Roman Schmoll, the Urban Sketcher set with 12 half pans. I really enjoy these paints. They are lovely to use and so easy to work with. The colours are so bright and colourful and fun. And yeah, the set itself, the painting, I could have done a few more layers, but I think it's nice still having it the way it is. This set here, or this painting here, is just out for coffee with my partner. It was just outside the window and it was beautiful, colourful little pot of flowers. And if you can see, I used a green and red mixture to make the grey, and I don't know why it does this, but it separates into the green and red quite a lot, more than what usually happens when I make a red and green mixture. I have changed the colours, like my red and green that I use in the set, so I think that might be it, but I honestly love it. Kind of adds a little bit of interest and pizzazz to my greys, so yeah, fun note. This is just random lamp on the mantelpiece. This is a bit fun. This is just some juice, very bright orange, which is fun, and then this is a cup and some plants that were on the table at a lovely cafe in town, and it's got some beautiful kind of structural things going on. It's a lovely spot in Bristol. This one here is a landscape from a hike I did with a group I've joined, and yeah, it was a beautiful hike. This is before it started hailing on us. There was a reservoir down here and a lake on a few hills over that we walked to in the end. And I honestly quite enjoy this painting. I think it turned out quite lovely. And yeah, we've got my hair. It was braided for me, and so I thought it was pretty fun, and lots of colours were going on my hair. Got some flowers as well, they're always bright and colourful, so it's lovely to paint them. And then a photo of me and my siblings from many years ago, so I thought that was fun to do. For those that might not know, this is gouache. So this is, you use it similar to watercolour, however it is quite opaque like acrylic paint, but it's a good in-between medium, I find, and it turned out quite lovely. This is just a coffee cup. I spent a surprising amount of time on this. I don't love it because the shape of the cup is wrong, but I enjoy the intense shadows and shapes. It feels very interesting. And then we've got a couple random ones over here. And some strawberries. This is at a picnic, and strawberries, they take a very long time to paint if you want to paint them properly, but I quite enjoy this, and the plastic container turned out surprisingly successful, so I was really proud of that as well. We have painting of a sugar on a saucer on a table, and it was reflecting really well, so I thought it would be fun to paint. This is a video on the channel, you guys might recognise this. This is the Schminkelhorden architecture set with 9 full pans. I did 2 cat paintings. Honestly, I really like these 2 paintings. They're some of my favourite from the book. And the paints, I really like the set as well. I'm surprised, I wasn't sure if I liked the colour selection, but I am really enjoying it, and I do like these paints. I've changed the set on my table at the minute, but I do enjoy these paints, so it'll come back out sometime soon. Then we have this painting here, which is of me and my friend when we went to Croatia together. It was a really sweet painting, and my friend here is moving back to Canada, so I thought it'd be a lovely opportunity to paint the 2 of us together. And I really like how her top turned out. I was using some of the White Nights granulating colours that I bought like I think a couple months ago, and it adds a nice texture to her shirt. Then we've got I went to coffee with my friends and ended up painting her and the stairwell here. And then my brother joined me over here in Bristol, so we went and got a drink and I decided to paint it because the glass had some fun designs on it. This is my brother's painting. Honestly, he did a fabulous job. He's only done a few paintings with me and I was really proud of him. Especially like landscapes can be quite tricky, so I think he did an incredible job, and hopefully I'll be able to get him to do some more when he comes back. This is my painting. This is on the top of Pinnavan, which is a mountain in South Wales. I did the hike with my brother, and while we were waiting for his friends to join us, I painted the view of, I can't remember what Mount Peak this is called, but then there was Fanny Big at the, this is that one there, and then these are some more mountains you can climb, and I thought it was quite cool having the path all the way up to the top there. So yeah, considering how windy it was, I think it turned out pretty well. This is a painting at a cafe with my brother and my partner. I kind of cropped out the painted camera on the wall, but I think it still turned out pretty fun. It's not my favourite, but still some colour, which is nice. This is a horse. Yeah, she's a character, but I thought it'd be fun to try paint her, and honestly I think it turned out quite well considering horses are not something I'm used to painting and drawing, so I think that turned out pretty nice. The next one, this is a photo my brother took on his camera of me with the very dry grass, and honestly I quite like it, especially the drawn out shadow here. It's a very quick sketch and very like loose, and I think it turned out quite nice, all things. This is a photo from Belgium with the windmills. I saw it on my camera roll. I thought it would be lovely to paint that, especially with it reflecting in the water, and honestly the clouds turned out quite lovely with the flat brush, adding some of that texture in. I've recently gotten a flat brush again, and it reminds me how much I miss using them. This is a video from here on the channel of the Winsor & Newton Professional Watercolour set, 12 half pans. The watercolours, I've been using them. That's the set I've had on my table just to get used to them and understand the colours and everything. They're alright, they're quite nice. I do like quite a few of the colours. These two here I use interchangeably. They feel like the exact same colour to me. I know they're not, but to me the difference between them isn't enough to worry, and same with these two. So the colour section isn't my favourite, but despite that they are still nice to use, easy, very basic paints, so there's no hassle around using them. They're just easy. This is my friend's painting. She did a whale's tail. She did another painting early on in the book, so she's got a few that we've done together. This is my one. We painted them at the same time. I did some flowers that were on the table opposite us, and then she did a lighthouse after that. I was really proud of her, and I think she was really proud of herself as well for doing this one. And then while she painted the lighthouse, I did this one of just a cute little bear that was on like a mantelpiece shelf thing behind her. Then I did this one. I took a photo of her as she was painting and just decided to draw that, and I also really enjoy it. I think it turned out really successful, and yeah, it's definitely one of my favourites from the book. I think also the sweet memories associated help. And this is the painting she did of the White Cliffs of somewhere in the UK, and it turned out really lovely. So really proud of her. Then I did this one of my dad and cat from back home. He was just sitting in the bay window and Mum sent a photo through, and it was really sweet. and I thought it was a good opportunity to pull out the gouache again, though I don't have the right blue because I don't have all my gouache over here. I've just got 4 colours and a white, so making do. This is a few paintings I did while I was waiting for my friend to arrive, so we could do some more painting together. And once she did arrive, I did this bee. I was learning a bit about bees from someone I know, and I thought it was quite nice to do a painting of one. Then my friend, she did a cocktail, and following that she did some bugs, and then I did a close-up painting of my brother's face because they're always a bit of fun. Following that, I did this one of a church in Luxembourg that I saw a few months ago. I thought it was quite lovely and not too complicated, so I went ahead and drew that, painted it, and then my friend, she did this one that reminded her of home, and I think she did a fabulous job of it. Moving on, I did this one at a cafe with my partner. I also did my daily drawing of the same scene, so it was cool to compare the two. It's nice to see it in colour with the bright green coffee machine and green tiles and stuff. It turned out quite lovely. Got a sheep from a hike that just really didn't want to move off the trail. It was a very chunky sheep. This is on my wall. These are the 2 ceramics are from my aunt. One for Christmas and one from my grandmother's 95th birthday, and then the chain here is a Saint Christopher necklace I was gifted from some volunteers when I did track maintenance, and I hold these are very important to me, so it's nice to finally put them in a painting, even though it is very beige and doesn't look overly interesting at first glance. It holds quite a lot of significance having the 3 of them there. Then this is a painting from Edinburgh, up in Scotland. There were these bright orange brocades on my way to a hike, and I thought it looked really cool. This is a painting my partner did. This was the first painting they've done for me, so I was really proud of them for giving it a go, and yeah, just really excited to get them into painting, hopefully. And then this is a kind of collaged one I did. I laid out the 3 white night granulating colours that I have, and then drew the 5 cats I've had over my lifetime on the pages, and then did some white gouache around them to make them pop, and yeah, turned out quite interesting. This is an old rabbit I had when I was little. I found a photo of her and I thought she looked really cute, and I hadn't actually painted her, I don't think, before, so I thought it was a good opportunity to, and I think it turned out quite lovely. These are some random photos from the camera roll. This is a lemonade drink I tried. Actually, it tasted pretty good, and it's a very fun bottle as well. This is my friend back in Dunedin. We went a walk together last year, and her jersey looked lovely, so I thought I'd paint it. This is a very nostalgic photo to me with the old box TV. I used to have a batch in Porongahau in New Zealand, and it's very clashy with the colours, and there was just a lot of memories, and I saw the photo come up and I was like, I'm going to paint that, and so I did. And I honestly love the TV there. It just kind of brings it together, and I was originally not going to do a painting through the window, but I'm glad I did. This is a bellbird. I saw a photo come up on Instagram, and it was a beautiful photo of a bellbird, so I decided to paint it, as well as this one here where it is just pen. So we've got the 2 contrasting images, one with pen, one with just pencil. Coming up to the last few paintings, we've got this one from a festival I went to on the weekend. Very fun, very lovely. And then these are just some random photos from my camera roll or just the internet. And then this funny story with this one, there was long story short, I did a Bob Ross tutorial, but I only had my watercolours on me, so I ended up doing Bob Ross but with watercolours, and it was really tricky because watercolour isn't meant to be laid up that way, the same way as it is oil. So it ended up turning out like this, very muddy, and I also couldn't see the colours that he was using because of the lighting and everything, but I think it still turned out lovely. And then based off that, I painted this one how I would usually approach watercolours. So it's very interesting to compare the two paintings, and I think they're both nice for different reasons. But either way, that is my book. I finished this on the 2nd of August. Oh, actually I think it was the 1st of August. Damn. But it took about 2 months, this one, so it's been really lovely. And yeah, exciting to have it finished. I've got the next bird book on the way. I've started doing a few paintings in there, and then I've got a another A6 sketchbook that I've been working on as well, so there'll be more paintings to come, don't worry. But until then, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a lovely afternoon, evening, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.